Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Comic Book Lowdown. I'm Wellington, and this is where I review comic books and comic book story arcs. Today is my pull week video of the week October 10th, 2012. And today I got 5 books, and just a quick reminder for if you are new to the channel. And the way I do my pulls is I review them from what I liked the least to what I like the most. So the first book I will review is what I like the least out of all the books, and then the last one is the pick of the week per se. And these are non-spoiler, although maybe a little if I get too carried away. And also a quick reminder, there are some of these books that I don't have physically. I have them on my computer, so sometimes I will be looking at my computer instead of showing you guys the book itself, and then the cover and everything like that. So without further ado, let's start with the first comic book of the week, and that is Marvel Universe vs. the Avengers by Jonathan Maberry and story by Jonathan Maberry, and art by Leo Fernandez, is what I'm guessing, because they don't actually specify, they just have the names there. So, and right off the bat, by the way, this is on my computer, so right off the bat, start with the cover, and it's got all the Avengers minus Hawkeye. Like all the Avengers from the Avengers movie, except for Hawkeye on here. And they're all covered in blood, and they all look like they've just gone through a lot of stuff. And so that I guess I would kind of give you the gist of what the book should be about. But then, as soon as you go to the first page, the story is from Hawkeye's view. So, and throughout the story, Hawkeye seems to be the main character in this story. So, to not even have him on the front cover of the book, in a book with the Avengers title in it, and him being the main character pretty much in this book, and they don't even put him on the cover at all. The title and the cover for this book are actually pretty misleading. This book is, I read online, I think on the Marvel website, that this book is going to be, it's taking place with I think the Marvel Zombies, and it's going to be another, like the Punisher versus Marvel Universe, Wolverine versus Marvel Universe type of thing, except I think they ranked it as Punisher was after the aftermath of the zombie apocalypse, I guess, and Wolverine was, I guess, during the zombie apocalypse, and this one I think is taking place at the start. So I might have those mixed up though. So pretty much this story goes, it takes place in Manhattan, and it seems that all of Manhattan, they say, Nick Fury says that all of Manhattan is infected with the virus that turns you into a zombie, and everybody has it, and anybody at any time can just turn mad and then be a cannibal. And so all the superheroes and all the villains seem to be in New York at this time, and they're all just fighting one another. No, they're not fighting one another. They're fighting, say, if there's the zombies of each of these heroes or villains. So there's just a lot of killing in this, and most of it takes place from Hawkeye's view, and he actually has to kill his wife, his, I guess, ex-wife now. And probably the best part of this book, or at least one of the best parts, was this page where it's just 3 panels of Hawkeye, just, it's close up on Hawkeye, and he's aiming his shot, and then he takes a shot, and then you can tell that his shot hit, and that, you know, he's just like clenching himself, and he just clenches his eyes closed, and he's got blood all over his face, and that's when he puts an arrow through Mockingbird's heart, and it's kind of sad. But then again, I'm not a huge Hawkeye fan, so it's not too sad. Something that I like about this is that there's a lot of characters in this, and I guess that's where the Marvel. The problem with the title is that it says Marvel Universe versus the Avengers. So I'm thinking that everybody, but let's just use who they used on the cover: Thor, Captain America, Iron Man, Black Widow, and Bruce Banner's Hulk. All of those guys versus everybody else in the Marvel Universe, besides probably Punisher and Wolverine, because their 2 books, I guess, happen after this book. So I'm thinking it's just going to be those 5 main characters against everybody else, but it seems to be everybody just fighting those who are infected. So it's kind of like Marvel Universe versus itself. Or you could make an argument, the Avengers versus the Avengers, because everybody seems to be an Avenger, even if you're an X-Men. And so, you know, they just have everybody's fighting everybody with the disease, and there's a lot of cool things, like there's a scene of Captain America punching Sandman out, and right next to Sandman there's Red Skull, and he's all zombie-like, and all that kind of stuff, and Nick Fury threatens to drop some nuclear warheads onto Manhattan, and just a lot of fighting going on, but like nothing is very like centered type of fight. Excuse me, nothing's really centered. Captain America explains that you will have to make the hard choice, and by the hard choice means that you'll have to probably kill some of your former allies. And when there's a scene that they're talking about that, and it shows Wolverine, and he's like slashing through Storm, and that actually is sad. And in the meantime, they have the greatest minds working together to try to find a cure, and that's Black Panther, Reed Richards, Hank Pym, and Beast. And they're just not making any progress. I'm surprised that Tony Stark isn't in there either. Tony Stark plays absolutely no role in this book. Tony Stark doesn't play a role, Black Widow doesn't play a role, and Hulk, Bruce Banner's Hulk, plays no role either. Red Hulk plays a very slight role, and really only from the cover, only Captain America and Thor play roles. But Hawkeye should be on the cover, and he's the main character in this. So there's that, and at this one point, Hank Pym gets killed because Beast turns cannibal, and when Beast turns cannibal, also the Thing and Spider-Man, they break into the lab and they actually eat Hank Pym, and that is a gruesome scene. And wow, I'm actually spoiling this. but it's all right because this book isn't it's not very captivating. It's just mostly all fighting and stuff. But I think I'll just move on to the next book because I think I've said enough about it. If I had to put a rating on it, out of 5, 3 out of 5. So next book, I've got Deadpool 62. And, oh wow, it's kind of dark in here. But Deadpool 62, and even though it's my second book, I really liked it. I really like this. What they're doing, what Daniel Way is doing with Deadpool in his final story arc, which is gonna end next issue. He's really doing a good job with it. There's no jumping around, and they're not using Deadpool in very big roles. He doesn't seem. In the last issue, he was not the main character at all, and in this issue, he's in and out more, but he's still not all the way there. And there's some cool moments with former Agent Kemp and the guys that she hired that gonna go kill Deadpool is what she wants, at least. I don't know how that's gonna end up. And Taskmaster gets an appearance in this, and then he plays a role in this. The story's pretty good. There's not really much to say. It's funny. The comedy's not slacking in this. And it's regular old Deadpool. Well, it's actually Deadpool at a higher level than he's been lately. He's only had a few couple of funny here and there's in the past couple issues. But in these past 2 issues, he's been top of his game. So if I had to give Deadpool out of a 5 rating, I'd give it a 3.5 to a 4. Leaning towards more to a 4 because I actually did like this. But hey, next issue, I have Scarlet Spider continuing with the Minimum Carnage. I keep wanting to say Maximum Carnage, and I've never even read it yet, but I'm gonna buy it soon, and I'll try to do a review on that one day. But Scarlet Spider, Minimum Carnage, Part 2. I actually started reading Scarlet Spider. I read the first 9 issues, and I have them on my computer. And I really like Kane as Spider-Man. Like, I really like reading about Kane, and he has some funny moments in his own book throughout his series. But then this, I really like what happens throughout this. Him interacting with Flash and Venom, and Kane just does not take anything very well, and rightfully so, when what happens pretty much right at the beginning of the book, like, let's see, 1, 2, 4 pages in. 4 pages in, something pretty big happens, and it causes a fight between Scarlet Spider, Kane, and Flash Thompson Venom. And after the fight, Kane is pretty much just like, I'm not gonna help you out. I don't even care, because in the last issue, Carnage, he escaped into, I forgot what that universe was called. I think it was called the, let me try to find it here. Microverse. He escaped to a microverse through the Prometheus pit, and that's a universe where all those small characters live at, and so Venom wants to follow Carnage in to make him pay for his crimes that he's done to society, and he wants Kane to go with him, and Kane is just like, I'm not gonna do it, but he comes back, and they go through the pit, and they're warned that they probably will not make it to the same place. They will not be teleported into the same place, which they are not. And even that they might not survive, but of course they do survive, because we know that there's more issues after this. So they survive it, but they're in different places, and what happens to Venom is cool. It's pretty cool what happens to Venom, but what happens to Kane leaves you on a cliffhanger for the next Scarlet Spider issue, which I think will be pretty good. There were some things that I didn't like about this, but I guess I just have to wait and see where they're going with it. Carnage did not make too many appearances in this. He did play, of course, the role of being the bad guy, but it was more of a Venom and Scarlet Spider thing going on. And I mean, it should be. It says Scarlet Spider versus Venom on the cover, so, and it shows them fighting. So I guess it wasn't misleading at all. But out of a 5 score, give it a 4. Next issue, Avenging Spider-Man number 13. This is the second part of the I can't even remember. Oh, Hypno Hustler. I don't know what it is about this book that I think it stands out from the other Spider-Man books. I think this might be the best of the Spider-Man books, Avenging. And this is just funny. There's so much funny stuff in this that happens, and it's just like with a good story to back it up to, and I don't even know who Hypno Hustler is, and I just was laughing throughout this, and of course, Kevin Shinick has a great voice for Spider-Man and Deadpool, so the banter between the two really works out throughout this whole issue. And this is, again, the second part of the Deadpool and Spider-Man team-up, I guess, but not really team-up, because at the end of issue 12 we find out that Deadpool actually betrayed Spider-Man and did it so he can help Hypno Hustler break out of jail. And funny thing about this cover, instead of saying, like on a lot of these covers they say Marvel Now on them, but on this one it just says Deadpool Wow in the corner where it looks like the Marvel Now logo. I don't know if you can see that good, but see, it says Deadpool Wow. And throughout the here, I'll probably just show you, throughout the front page, you know, just with the recap and everything, the previously page, they have little Deadpool captions like there, and there, and there, and all around. And Deadpool makes a note, or at least the Deadpool thinking caption makes a note that there are just way too many editors in this book. And then I looked at them, and there's how many editors? There's the assistant editor, the associate editor, the executive editor, editor-in-chief. So 5 editors on one book. And I never noticed that, but I thought that was pretty funny. And yeah, the art in this book is pretty great. I think this is out of all the Spider-Man artists drawing Spider-Man right now, this is Aaron Kuder is the absolute best. Hands down. This book is just a great looking book, and there's a lot of characters that end up being drawn throughout this book and they're just all drawn so crisp, and it's still cartoony like, but it's very I can be down with it. It's not way too cartoony, but it's not too realistic either. So out of 5 on Avenging Spider-Man, 4.5. And now for the comic of the week, we have, and we're finally going to a DC book, and of course, everybody's comic of the week probably, Batman, issue 13. This issue is also a lot longer than all the other books, and the covers. There are multiple covers. I saw them in the comic book store. There are multiple covers to it, and what I thought would be the original cover turned out to be the variant, I guess, where it has the Joker looking at himself in the mirror, putting on the lipstick. Seems like that would be the cover, but it's not. Actually, the real cover is way cooler, in my opinion. Maybe not cooler looking, but I mean, it flips. The cover flips over, and I wish I had it, but I actually bought these comic books with like quarters. I had to find quarters because I needed to fill up gas. So I bought most of the money I used on comic books were in quarters, and so I did not have enough money to go around buying Batman. But the cover was really cool, so if you have a chance to go look at it, and it's the same with Batgirl, it flips in a way like where it shows one half is the Joker, and when you flip it, it will be Batgirl or Batman. I mean, I can't explain it as good as it is when you see it and you do it yourself, but hey. Of course, this written by Scott Snyder. Trying to find the artist in here. Unfortunately, I have to go throughout this on my computer. Greg Capullo. I can never remember his first name. I don't know why, but I can remember his last name. Greg Capullo's art is great in this book. He draws Jim Gordon so good in this book, and what I really like about it is that the Joker is really present in this book without really seeing him, and Batman is drawn great, and there's some gruesome scenes in here or throughout this book that are just drawn perfectly for this, and this is a classic Joker plot, and not only is it classic just because of it being a well-planned Joker plot, but it's classic because it's going back to the roots of the Joker, to when he first started, and the Joker's kind of replaying what he's done in Gotham City. So maybe that's spoiling it, maybe not, but some cool stuff. He draws there's a scene, this isn't spoiling, there's a scene where Bruce Wayne's in the Batcave, and he's looking at his computer, his big computer, and he's got the Joker, I guess the Joker's profile on it, and it's got a picture of his face, and the Joker face is drawn so well in this. It is so good in this book. Everything is so great in this book. Just all the art, the story, top notch. The character interaction. He's really got Snyder has really got a feel for the characters, and Capullo's really got the idea of how to put it into place. There's nothing more you can say about it. like I said earlier, that this issue's a lot longer than other ones. Um, but that's pretty much because it's just a detailed story in itself, and then also it's I don't know if they're doing this with all DC New 52 books, because I only read Batman, Detective, and Justice League, and in those three they do the two stories throughout the books. But I always feel that in the second half of the book, the second half always has the art of all these books that I read, Detective, Justice League, and just Batman. The art in the second story, I don't know why they can't keep the same artist. Because this one is not that bad. In Detective, I really don't like when their second artist that they use, and in Justice League, sometimes I don't like the second artist that they use. This one was not so bad, but with art so great in the last issue, I just wish they could do it the same, or not in the last issue, in the first story of this issue. I wish they could just do it the same in the second story, but the art is still good in this second story, and the story is good in itself, although for me at least, this second story didn't actually need to be there. It just explains in full detail of this one part in the story, that in the main story, I'm not gonna spoil it, but it just explains it pretty much, the whole thing of how it happened or how it got set up. And I felt like I didn't actually need that to be explained. I just felt like, I could just do without it. But still good. Now I'm completely informed. Unlike Batman in this issue, Batman does not seem informed about a lot of things, and so he's doing some serious detective work on this case, because the Joker's finally appearing after a full year of no appearances in the Gotham City world. And so yeah, there's good stuff going on in the Batman book. This is the comic of the week. Of course, it's gonna be a 5 out of 5. There's no other way to put this book but just say that it was a great book. And out of all my books, it was, besides Marvel Universe versus Avengers, it was the only not funny book. all the ones I got physically are at least have a comedic value to them. But so that was my pulls for this week. I'll be back with another pull week in next week. I'm gonna try to get some new just spoiler review videos coming out soon. I'm gonna review the Monsters of Evil Venom story arc, the first Cullen Bunn story arc. I'm gonna review Astonishing Thor trade that I have. It's just 5 issues of that. I think I might do, maybe not a spoiler review, but just like a review of how much I liked it, of Dark Knight Returns. I've read that. I read it a while ago, but I haven't made a review about it. And maybe I'll do the same for Watchmen. But yeah, so that's just a couple things I'm gonna have on my agenda for videos. I'm gonna soon enough maybe have some more time. But until then, I'll see you guys next time on the Comic Book Lowdown.